Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto Was the Perfect Experiment. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay tuned for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way over in Anime King 2 and Anime King 3. If you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, remember to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode start? The intro. So the last time we left off, as Danzo had been trailing Naruto with his root agents ever since he returned back to Konoha. He also uses root agents to follow them towards the Land of Wave. So far, Naruto did not suspect a thing. Yes, he did not notice a thing. As Danzo believed that his agents were good enough to keep themselves disguised, he might have gotten stronger. And Danzo did not know how much exactly, but still, his root agents were top trained and elite. When they came to him and told him that Naruto was at one of their agents, well, that was kind of surprising. He told them to watch him. Danzo had brought Fu, just in case he need to eradicate the boy's mind, or one of his best sealing experts in roots, just in case this was a time where he had to seal away the boy and remove the 9 tails. He had already made precautions, but what he never expected was for Naruto to break the cuffs that were suppressing his chakra, as that confused Danzo. As Naruto pulled out a vial of blood and told Danzo to test it, to see if his lab techs or anything found anything suspicious in it. As Naruto was quite confident Danzo would not lie to him, Danzo claimed to believe that he wouldn't do it, as Naruto showed him why he would. As Naruto once again pulled out the blade of death that he had pulled out on the bridge. The root envoys were known for their impeccable 100% successful rate because they lack emotions to be able to hold them back. But yet, once Naruto pulled that blade, even Danzo started to sweat. Danzo was shocked as he heard about the rumors about the blade, but it was said that one had to come face to face with death several times. A far-away look came in Naruto's eyes when Danzo said that, as Naruto's eyes then turned wicked as he took off several of Danzo's root head. The rest of them dropped down, despite their fears, their bodies shaking, something that they were not used to because they had lost feeling of fear a long time ago, but yet their bodies were reacting negatively. Danzo told his root agents to stand down, as Naruto made it clear that he would slaughter all of them if he doesn't get what he wants. So Danzo agreed to what he asked, as he took the vial. With that out of the way, Naruto left. Some time passed. As Sakura and Sasuke has been training, Naruto did not train with them. As now that Sakura thought about it, she never actually saw him train before. He did show them what to do here and there, but he never actually trained. Sasuke was learning a few of the techniques that Naruto had showed him, as Naruto wouldn't teach him anything else until he completely get a good grasp on those. At the house, Uncle had started to try and tease Naruto even more to give in, but even stepping into the shower with him completely naked was not working for her, as that angered her, seeing that she got no reaction out of him. He was putting up a strong front, but she would break him. On the other hand, Naruto was stopped by Asuma. Asuma heard about Naruto's reputation, so he came face to face with Naruto, as he would not let Naruto use kunai like how he was using most of the girls around the village. As Naruto went on to mock the man, he said it in a way that made it sound like he was not actually mocking him, but judging by his tone, Asuma knew what the mock was. But still, as Naruto stood there and told him that he was actually having a meeting with Kurina today, With that, he made his way off. As he met Kurna in one of the training grounds, her team was off training with their family. As the both of them were focused on the art of genjutsu, Kurna was shocked when he showed interest in the art, and not to mention he was capable of using some rather powerful genjutsu, as she commended his skills. The both of them spent the entire day until time got dark. They were able to crack something that, if they were able to completely put it in the art of genjutsu, they would learn a new art of genjutsu that would be literally unstoppable against many foes. As Kurna was ecstatic, she couldn't wait to meet up again. As Naruto kissed her hand goodnight, she didn't know what it was, but there was this spark. Asuma had arrived at that moment after Naruto left, but she told him that he could meet up later. She needed to go. As she went inside, she forgot about Asuma immediately as she looked towards her hand. What was that weird feeling? As Asuma encountered Naruto once again, he started to get on Naruto's nerves. He said something. Naruto knocked him down, as he had to visibly stop himself, remembering that Asuma was the third son. Asuma woke up with his beard completely gone and writing all over his face, as he was pissed off. After time was up, Naruto went to visit Danzo, and there was nothing. Naruto lost it. He could tell when someone was lying, and Danzo was clearly not. As Naruto lost it, he was angry. Walking around the village, he was pissed off. At that very moment, a group entered Konoha, the Kumo team, and a blonde-haired woman caught sight of Naruto. The moment she saw him, she moved, her nails extended as she was about to rip his throat out. But Naruto was not in the mood, because he was not joking. He was dead serious. So yeah guys, so it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the PlayStation for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. We begin this episode in the past. Orochimaru had a smile on his face as he looked towards a monitor in front of him. On that monitor was Naruto, along with a red-haired woman inside. Orochimaru was the one to plan this. At the boy's lowest low, he needed someone. That is why Orochimaru allowed him to bond with that girl. And thus, there was a spark, friendship, that turned into one of a family bond. And those bonds were incredibly hard to break. Orochimaru realized that Naruto was becoming unstable, more and more. Well, especially to him. There was nothing that Orochimaru could do to him. There was nothing that he could use on him to force him to work against him. No seals because the Kyuubi, and not to mention the alterations that he did to Naruto's body. He wanted to create a perfect weapon, and he did. But he made a big mistake. He made Naruto too powerful. Certain things happened while he was experimenting on Naruto. For one thing, Naruto died 10 times. Yes, he died 10 times on the table. The longest his heart stopped for was 1 minute and 25 seconds. Orochimaru thought that he had lost a boy. He prepared for the Nine Tails to be going wild after his death, but to his confusion and shock, it never did. The beast remained inside of Naruto. Despite him being dead, his heart had stopped. Orochimaru tried to tamper with the seal, but the moment he had touched it, it seemed to be corroded. Orochimaru has been hit with fireball jutsus before, and they hurt, they burn. But the sensation when he touched the seal that day, the pain was indescribable. He couldn't understand what exactly it was. But he still continued to experiment on Naruto over and over again, constantly, tweaking with his body, placing in new DNAs inside of him, injecting serums, poisons, many other things. Naruto died 9 other times, but it was just a couple of seconds. The second longest one was 50 seconds. As Orochimaru made a notebook where he lists all of these findings. But despite that, the boy still came back. The more he died and the more he came back, his personality seemed to change just a bit more. As Orochimaru watched the monitor, Naruto became quite protective of that woman. And he really loved that. This was the best way to keep Naruto under his control because he was afraid that there was no other way that he could keep Naruto under his control. He made a weapon to use against the Akatsuki. A weapon that could annihilate forces in the thousands. He had thought that he could create something to force Naruto to serve him like a slave seal, something like that, but he failed. Every attempt he tried, he failed. Because Naruto's body became so adaptive. It adapted anything that was sent his way. At this spur moment, the level of chakra that Naruto possessed was of a tailed beast. If Orochimaru would range his chakra level, he would give it to at least the 6-tailed beast's worth of chakra. That's how much chakra he believed that Naruto have right now. And Naruto's chakra seemed to just keep on growing. His body was constantly getting stronger. He barely had to train or do anything to physically push himself. His body just adapt. The more you fight him, the more his body adapt. The more his body blend. He just gets stronger and stronger. The more he saw, the more he witnessed. It enhanced him even more. He was a perfect experiment. As Orochimaru looked towards the woman with the red hair on the monitor, she was the only thing that held them together. If she dies, Orochimaru believed that this world will be doomed. Because that boy in there, well, he didn't really know who could stop him. But her life was in the middle of his palm as Orochimaru clenched his fist, and he was going to use it against Naruto. Back to the present time. It happened so quickly. One moment, the blonde girl with blue eyes known as Samui saw her sensei Yujito sensei moving towards someone with clear intent to kill. She had snapped her head so quickly she might nearly snapped her head off completely. As she wondered what the hell was going on, why would her sensei be attacking someone within Konoha? An action like this could start a war, especially what her sensei contained if she was caught. But her sensei never got the chance, as Amoy and Karu were taken aback by the way their sensei fly past them. They could see her face in the blood. It happened in seconds. Time seemed to slow down as Amoy watched his sensei sail through the air. She broke through several buildings before slamming into the wall of Konoha, her body pressing against it as she created a sizable dent. Anvus immediately started to flock to the position as Hiruzen left his office. Yujito was not the cause. It was not the tail beast that she possessed that got the people scared. It was the feeling that started to spread through the air. Naruto was already angry that Danzo failed to find anything in the blood. And the more he walked, the more angry he got. And being attacked snapped him. It awakened something inside of him that he had been keeping calm. Something that happened to him after dying 10 times. Well, it changed a person. Amoy, Yujito, and Karu didn't have time, as they were surrounded by Anvus. The remaining ones moved, as they were not going after their sensei though. Someone had passed them so quickly they could barely see him. All they saw was the blonde. Yujito was pressed up against the wall as she could feel her body in critical pain. Her hand was twisted unnaturally. Blood was coming from her mouth. Her chest was rising in an unsteady fashion. Stay still, kitten. The two-tailed demon with that reside inside of her said to her, I'll work on healing you. Just stay still. As she winks in pain, she could feel her ribs. Some of them were broken, they were stabbing her on the inside. As Monotabi went to reset them, her eyes then caught sight of something that just flashed in front of her. Despite the pain, she moved, as Naruto's hand ripped through the wall where her head once was. Yujito dropped to her knees as she spat out blood, as she just hurt herself even more by moving. As she gripped her chest with her other hand, as she looked up, ripping his hand out of the wall, Naruto was stopped by several Anvus who flashed in front of him. The Anvus all stood firm, but a feeling of dread seemed to wash over them. This was crazy considering that they were elite Anvus of the village. And yet, here they were, panicking. Their body just seemed to shook by itself. Harrison arrived on the scene just in time. Naruto, he said, realizing who was the cause of this. As Naruto turned towards him, Harrison unconscious took a step back, as his sight was a bit unnerving. There he stood. Naruto's eyes were black as night, and his face was melting. His cheeks. All Harrison saw underneath his melting skin was darkness. It caught Harrison off guard. As Naruto's eyes focused on the old man, he didn't seem to be aware of what he was doing. As his hand unconsciously flexed, the Onbu's move. As Naruto's eyes caught sight of the tower behind the old man, the Red Tower, inside of his mind, at the last hallway, where all that darkness resided, Naruto stood there. This time he just stood there, not afraid of anything. You could barely see inside of that room. It was a room as large as the Kyuubi's cage, where he once resided, but now it was just filled with darkness. The 4 other sectors were quiet. Whatever resided in the 4 others were not making a sound. But the thing that resided in the 5th sector started to speak as it looked at Naruto. So you finally reached your boiling point. Well, why don't we have some fun and rip this entire place apart? It's been a long time since you enjoyed a good massacre. As Naruto's eyes were dull, as he just focused on the thing in front of him until he saw red. The red reminded him of her hair. As Naruto blinked several times, before his eyes focused on what he was seeing, there was something sitting down in a chair in the darkness. As Naruto slapped himself, I guess I lost myself there, he said. It seems that way, the thing said. Why don't you let me help you out? And we go to have some fun. Some real fun. This village is getting you soft. Well, more like you're suppressing yourself. Why don't you show them what you're truly capable of? Sorry, said Naruto. I can't do that. As Naruto was speaking as he was looking at the thing in front of him, he didn't want to be here. He knew exactly what this was and what it did to him when he accepted it. If I agree to your proposal, I will kill people I don't want to kill. Amusing. You talk like you actually care about anyone. We both know there's just one person in this world that you care about. Why the charade? Why the acting? I already said it to myself. I'm Naruto 2.0. You're just saying that because she told you to change. You've been bad for so long. She told you to be good, so you're good right now. What happened when time returned for you to turn bad and do what is necessary to protect the one that you love? I'll worry about that when time comes, said Naruto. For now, stay in your cell. You know eventually you will come to me, begging for my help. Let's see about that, said Naruto as he started to walk away. Whatever it was simply laughed. As Naruto walked past the other 4 cells, the things inside along with the Kyuubi all looked at him, but Naruto left his mind escape. As Naruto's eyes focused, he was surrounded, swords drawn. Whoa, calm down, said Naruto as he raised his hand in defense, losing some of his anger rather quickly. As Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. As Naruto's face started to rapidly heal, his flesh returning back to normal, not even leaving a scar, the darkness in his eyes vanishing. As Naruto turned his head towards Yujito. Oh, kitten, he said, as he gave her a soft smile, as she glared at him. Yujito didn't focus. Oh shit, she said, as she noticed his headband. She didn't know. Hiruzen sighed in annoyance. Will someone tell me what's going on here, he said. Time skip. As Naruto sat with Hiruzen in the office. Hiruzen knew that Naruto was going to be trouble. Well, he did tell him that he had a lot of enemies. Well, he shouldn't be surprised. So she was a Jinchuriki that you pissed off. Yeah, said Naruto. So does this mean that you're in bad favors with Kumo? Well, not the village entirely, said Naruto. They admit the Raikage and his brother. I don't think he's a friend of mine. Naruto, this information would have been a good thing to have before this all happened. Given that he's dealing with another village. Yeah, it's sensitive, said Naruto. But he never asks. Guess I did not, Hiruzen said. Would you mind telling me what exactly happened? Well, seeing that I was working for Orochimaru back then, I didn't really have a village of acknowledgement. A village that I was from. Let's just say I got in contact with a few Kumo ninjas. We fought. They realized that we were out of their league. But it was a veteran shinobi that was there. They wanted me to join Kumo, noticing my strength. I thought about the proposal. At the time I was just bored. So I went along with a little game to see what they have in store for me. When I arrived there I spoke to the big guy. That's the Raikage. His brother was a lot of fun. The rapping was kind of nice. Rapping? Yeah, they tell Jinchuriki, said Naruto. He's known for rapping. You will see that if you ever get to meet him, said Naruto. So as I was saying, I was easy to get along with the Raikage judged by my cool, calm nature towards people. He wanted to test my loyalty, even though I just came there, seeing that I told him I wasn't from any village. It was either that or I die, seeing that I almost kind of killed his shinobis when I first met them. Remember, still a bad person back then. So yeah. Why did you go with him in the first place if you were a bad person? Well, said Naruto as he scratched his cheek. I was thinking of starting a world war. Hiruzen blinked. What did you say? Look, I was just really bored. My mind wanders when I'm bored. I figure if I attack Kumo and blame another village, it might start something fun. As Hiruzen had to seriously looked at Naruto to see if he was joking or not. But he was dead serious. So you're telling me you want to start a world war because you're bored? Remember, not a good person, said Naruto. Hiruzen sighed. To the way things are looking right now, he wasn't supposed to trust Naruto at all. But as he sighed once again, he's been doing that a lot lately. I soon realized that was a stupid idea, said Naruto. See? Not that bad of a person. At least Hiruzen could confirm that. So after that I got bored there. They wanted me to do a mission for them. And it was really boring. They sent their Jinchuriki to watch me. And that was that girl that you saw out there. We went on that mission. We ended up collecting some serious information from somewhere. And we spent the night at the hotel. I got to know her on the mission. And because of my charms and everything about me, you can see that we got together really well. We became good friends. Until I got bored, I decided not to go back to Kumo. I figured that, well, the bandit camps and the more wild towns are better. So I took the information and left her chained up in the hotel room. I did left a note. Well, I did knock her out, said Naruto, because she wouldn't go to sleep. She was told to watch me after all. I guess she thought that we were becoming friends. So I betrayed her. And I think that she get blamed for, well, not watching me. After all, she was a splendid kunoichi. And she was up for a promotion and she probably didn't get it because of me, so she was rather pissed. As Hiruzen sighed. But don't blame her, said Naruto. She probably thought I was still with no village, so she attacked me. I'm sure she's out there worrying right now, thinking that this might start a war. We can start this all out right now, said Naruto, as he opened the door. You may come in now, he said, as Yujito glared at him. She figured that it was a Hokage calling her, as she stepped in front of the man. She knew that this was bad. She didn't know the hell he joined with Konoha. But this was bad for her. She stepped foot in the village and then she went and attacked one of their shinobis. Hokage-sama, I humbly apologize. I did not know that he was with your village. And I take full responsibility for my actions. Don't worry, said Naruto as he shrugged her off. But she still glared at him. I will take care of the repairs of the buildings that you destroyed. I was the one that kind of hit you through it, said Naruto. And the Hokage is fine with it. I explained the situation to him. You thought that I was still on the wrong side, but you realized that I'm now a Konoha shinobi, said Naruto, as he pointed his headband that was on his waist. All you have to do is humbly apologize to me, and it's all okay. Her glare intensified. Hokage-sama, I am not questioning your judgments or anything of your stature because this is your village. But if I were you, I wouldn't trust him. And why wouldn't you, said Hiruzen. This man is a corrupted, conniving person who does things that only benefit him. And I assure you, even now as he stands here with you, joking and laughing, he would betray you in the blink of an eye. Other than that, it's not my place to say. You know, I'm still waiting for that apology, said Naruto. After all, because of me, this little incident's getting sorted out. Come on, he said in a playful tone. Don't let your pride get in your way and cause something that you don't want to happen. As he clenched her fist so tight, as Naruto noticed the blood dropping on the ground. Huh. She really wanted to kill him, huh? I apologize, she said. Everything is quite fine, Yujito-san, said Hiruzen. We will sweep this under the rug. Like how the entire situation is solved now. We don't have to have any repercussions coming from this. As she gave a nod of acknowledgement to the man, thanking him. The last thing she wanted to do was start problem for her village. I wish you and your team a warm welcome within Konoha. As she gave him another nod. As she left shortly after, as Naruto went after her, but he stopped at the door. Hey, old man, he said. What is it, Naruto, said Hiruzen. I knew I was a bad person, but you don't have to worry. I won't betray you. And with that, Naruto left. As Hiruzen leaned back in his chair, Jiraiya was returning back to the village. After all of his search, he found absolutely nothing. Orochimaru was still in the wind, and Hiruzen didn't like it one bit. With Orochimaru still out there, it meant that there was a possibility of him somehow getting Naruto back on his side, which Hiruzen didn't like one bit. Although, it would be good for Naruto and Jiraiya to bond a bit. After all, he never really stayed here for a long while Naruto was here. So now that he's back, they can bond. And given their little tendencies that they had in common, he was sure that they would bond well. As Naruto's words went through his mind. Meanwhile, outside, Yujito was heading back towards her team at the hotel, when Naruto started to walk beside her. Good day we're having, isn't it, he said. The moment you step foot outside this village, I would tear your throat open, she said, and leave you for dead. Wow, morbid, said Naruto, as he continued his pace beside her. You know, I have changed. She laughed. Change. No point in trying to make you believe me, said Naruto, because you won't. Tried it before with a few others in my past, and they didn't believe me either. Because you're a scum. And why would someone ever believe a scum, she said. Well, I guess I had that coming, said Naruto after what I did. You had more than that coming. You okay, Naruto asks. Don't worry about my health. Worry about yours. I didn't mean to hit you that hard, said Naruto. I was not in a good place. She clenched her fists. You believe that we're friends or something, she asked. As Naruto sighed, I know that I let you down by betraying you, but I was not a good person back then. I've changed, believe me. And I'm gonna prove it to you with your stay here. I hope we can catch up. With that, he flashed away, as she kept on walking, as a thought popped into her head. She quickly shook her head to focus. As she clenched her fists, she would make him pay. Time skip. As Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura were walking, they had just had a meeting with Kakashi. As he had demanded to see all three of them, he signed them up for Chunin exams, as they were going to be participating tomorrow. No, said Naruto as he turned towards Sasuke. Sasuke frowned. Why not, he said. I gave you a specific mission, said Naruto. Finish the ones I taught you earlier, and then I'll teach you some more. Sasuke frowned in annoyance. What? The great Uchiha can't finish them? I thought your Sharingan was supposed to be a perfect tool for that. I did tell you that the chakra output has to be, well, perfect. My techniques aren't exactly normal. I did create them, said Naruto. As Sasuke frowned, as Naruto wouldn't teach him any other techniques. As Naruto turned towards Sakura, you're awfully quiet. Thinking about sleeping with me, he said. As her face turned red in embarrassment. What? Of course not. I was just thinking about the exam, she said. What, you think you're not ready? As she shook her head. For the first time, I actually think I'm ready for something like this. And because of you. Although you're a pervert. And sometimes you can be annoying. Thank you, she said. Oh, don't mention it. You can pay me back in a few years. What do you mean by that? Oh, you'll know, said Naruto, as he continued to walk. As he was a bit calmer than he was when he found out the bad news that Danzo didn't find anything in the blood. Because the snake summon he had summoned had brought him back a message, and he was happier now. The message had pleased him. Hey, let me go! The group heard the voice as they turned the corner. As Sasuke narrowed his eyes, he saw a small child being held by his collar. As Sasuke looked towards the headband, that was not Konoha. It was a hidden sand. What are they doing? Said Sakura. Let's go find out, said Naruto as he walked over. As Naruto looked over towards the two other children, who were cursing at Kankuro. Let him go, said Udan and Moke, as he shouted for Kankuro to release Konohamaru. Hey, Konohamaru, said Naruto. Konohamaru stopped screaming as he turned. Naruto, he said, as Naruto had met Sarutobi's grandson. Sarutobi didn't want Naruto around him for too long because Sarutobi was afraid that his personality would rub off on Konohamaru, and he didn't want that as much as he loved Naruto. But Naruto knew the child, and he was a sweet kid. What's going on? This guy won't let me go, said Konohamaru. I bumped into him and he wanted to. Konohamaru stopped talking as he saw that Naruto wasn't paying attention. Instead, he was staring. Sasuke sighed in annoyance. So did Sakura. Temari blinked as she saw him looking at her. He was staring, to be exact. As Naruto stepped forward, a charming smile came on his lips. I don't believe that we had the pleasure, he said. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, he said, as he reached and took Temari's hand and laid a gentle kiss on it. This baffled her, that someone can be so endearing and forward, but his name got her thinking, because it sounded so familiar. He saw her face trying to figure out his name. Most people try when they heard it. You're probably wondering about my last name, said Naruto. She narrowed her eyes. How did he know? That must make it was, well, important. Well, let's not talk about that right now, said Naruto. How about I take you to a date? What's your favorite food? Kankuro ended up dropping. Konohamaru, he'd never seen someone being so forward before, not to mention towards his sister. As Temari couldn't believe it. As she was speechless. This just shocked her so much. But then Naruto turned his head towards the wall. As he looked back towards Temari, he noticed something, but they were now gone. So, what do you say, said Naruto? Let me take you on a wonderful date. Let's get to know each other and become friends. Maybe even more than friends. Who knows? Maybe we can cement the relationship between the San and Konoha by having a few babies, he said. Temari's cheeks blushed red, as she still couldn't say a single damn word, as Naruto kept on massaging her hand as he spoke. It was then that San started to gather, before Kankuro could say something. Gaara. As Naruto turned his head, still holding on to Temari's hand. As he turned towards Gaara, Gaara's face was impassive, as he looked at Naruto, and towards his sister Han. But he seemed to not care about that. Temari. Kankuro. Let's go. Can't you see that we're busy, said Naruto. Temari was shocked. People didn't really speak to her brother that way, unless they wanted to die. She didn't know who this guy was, but he didn't know what the hell he was doing. She pulled her grip from his. Be quiet, she said. You don't know what you're doing. No, I don't know who the hell this guy is. Thinking that he can just ruin my plans for you. As Naruto stepped forward. Yeah, you idiot, said Kankuro. Don't! As Naruto reached out to touch Gaara, Sasuke was confused by the reaction, as he got himself ready just in case. Sand shot out as he wrapped around Naruto's arm. Gaara, don't! As Temari was afraid of the backlash that would happen, with him harming a Konoha shinobi when they were not in the exams. Not to mention, she didn't know what it was, but she shook her head as she focused back on what she was saying. As Gaara did not hear though, as he clenched his fists. But nothing happened. Gaara turned towards Naruto confused. Would you mind getting your sand off me? Said Naruto. Gaara clenched his fist tight, but the sand was not breaking his bones. Do that again, and I'll slap the shit out of you, said Naruto. As Gaara narrowed his eyes. As Naruto narrowed his eyes back at Gaara, the sand retreated off Naruto's hand. That returned back to normal before anyone could see it. Now that we're civil, said Naruto, would you mind going away? You're ruining my fun time with this beautiful young lady here. That is my sister, said Gaara. So what, said Naruto? It's not like you speak for her or anything. He doesn't, right? As Temari didn't say anything. As Kankuro looked towards Temari, we should go, he said. Seeing that Gaara was getting angry. And you wouldn't like Gaara when he was angry. What's your name? Said Gaara, as he looked at Naruto. The name is Naruto Uzumaki. Namikaze. What's yours? Gaara. Gaara of the desert. It will be nice to meet Mother Feast on your blood. Naruto blinked at that comment, as he turned towards Temari. Is your brother, crazy? Be quiet, she said, hoping that she could stop him from saying anything that would cause his death. We should go, as she started to walk off, as Naruto grabbed her hand, as he leaned forward and whispered something in her ear. Her cheek turned a slight bit red before she pulled her hand away and walked off. You know that you almost started the fight because you were flirting with your sister, and you just wouldn't give up, said Sakura. Oh, you're still here? Of course I'm still here, she said, that glare, as Naruto simply laughed. As Naruto then turned towards Sasuke. He's powerful, alright, said Naruto. Sasuke blinked. Yeah, know what you're thinking. Guess I'm reading your mind. Don't worry, I'm not. I'm just saying. Maybe you should stay away from that one. He might end up just killing you. As Sakura narrowed her eyes. Are you afraid? If Naruto was afraid, then it was done because he didn't seem to fear anyone, so if he feared someone, that person was really scary. Of course not, said Naruto. Just worried about Sasuke. Not wanting to go and piss his pants, said Naruto. Time skip. As the group from the Hidden Stone had saw the little interaction, it seems like Oniki was right. Kurasuke had saw him turn his attention towards them, as they were well hidden behind a rather powerful genjutsu, and yet it was like he saw them, so they had moved. She didn't know how. Well, he was the son of that man. Her grandfather was right. Let's see how much more information she could gather. With that, she and her group made their way off. Konoha. They wanted to know how strong it was. But this was good. That man had a son. Everyone in the Hidden Stone that lost, almost everyone hated Minato. To have the chance of killing his son, even though the man was dead, well, they wouldn't give up that opportunity. As many of them had grown on the principle to hate Minato after he demolished their forces in the war. It was a slaughter. But he was definitely something foreseen through her genjutsu. He turned his head towards them. She knew that he was looking at them. She just had to see what he was capable of. She would just continue to watch him for now, after gathering some more information. Time skip. Jiraiya arrived later that night, as he came back with some news for Hiruzen. Hiruzen was surprised by this news. I don't understand. Konoha was allied with the hidden grass, so this news was rather surprising. Jiraiya had went to the grass to rest for the night before coming back to Konoha, where he found out that there was a massacre there. Their shinobi population was reduced, to the point of non-existence. No one heard about this news. The grass had kept it under control and kept it to himself. It seems like the word ally was just on paper these days, because they did not trust Konoha enough to inform him about this. Did they really think that Hiruzen would subjugate their village for that? After all, it's not like they offer them any shinobis. It was the produce and the things that they offer them. Farming. All of them? Most, said Jiraiya. I'm surprised that they kept this to themselves. But it seems that they were worried about the prospect of this news going out to anyone else. So they kept it to themselves, even not telling us. And you're saying that this was only one person? As Jiraiya nodded, after gathering some more information, that is what I was able to find out. One person, in broad daylight, infiltrated the village. And he just started to kill. No apparent reason. He just started to slaughter people. This wasn't recent. This had happened a couple of years ago. They're trying to rebuild their shinobi force, but at the rate they're at right now, they couldn't stand up to a team of elite jonins. The things that worry me is the description of this person, said Jiraiya, as he narrowed his eyes towards Hiruzen. Hiruzen gulped, as he figured why Jiraiya was telling him this. Tell me, said Hiruzen. They call him the Blonde Devil. The description mostly gave off blonde hair with bangs. His face was covered in so much blood they could barely take note. But they said that his eyes were shifting between different colors. What colors? asked Hiruzen. Red, green, yellow, and black. As Hiruzen took a puff of his pipe, without saying a word. Earlier today, Naruto had an encounter with a Kumo shinobi, and his eyes were black. Kakashi told me that he saw Naruto's eyes transform into green when they were fighting. As Jiraiya was silent at that, he walked over and sat on the couch. You think it's him? You think the same thing as well, that is why. You're so quiet about the information, don't you? Jiraiya did not respond, as that was enough answer for Hiruzen. As both men sat there in the silence, pondering what to do with this information. If it was him, why would Naruto do something like that? As the thought popped in Hiruzen's head, I was bad in the past. He always said that. Time skip the next morning. As Naruto woke up alone, Anko had headed off, as she was a part of the exam. As Naruto stretched and yawned, he felt himself being watched the entire night. He faked ignorance. He didn't know who it was, but he was sure that it was not Yujito. She was planning on killing him when she get him one-on-one. She wouldn't do anything to jeopardize her village, or start any conflicts with her time here. Not to mention she had a team now. When he met her, she didn't have a team. As Naruto got ready, as he made his way, he hasn't seen Asuma since he had shaved his beard. He was sure the man was still pissed off at him. Him and Kurenai was gonna meet up in the week, once he was done the Chunin exams. She didn't want to take much of his time. She was a rather sweet lady, as she didn't want to take his time for him to be distracted. Amusing as it was, it's not like anyone in the exams could actually cause him any physical harm once he was truly fighting. With that, Naruto made his way. He arrived at the academy entrance as he saw Sakura and Sasuke already there. Took you long enough, said Sasuke. Let me guess, you were with a girl, said Sakura. You sound jealous, said Naruto. Of course I'm not, she said. But that's it, isn't it? Nah, said Naruto. Just wake up late. Figure, what's the rush? You mean one of the most important tests of our entire life, and you figure what the rush? As she shook her head. Yeah, said Naruto as he shrugged. The group walked inside, as they made their way. They went up the first flight of stairs, and the second. They were supposed to go to the third room. So when they saw the bunch of shinobis gather at the second room, as Naruto narrowed his eyes. As he looked towards the genjutsu that was placed up, his eyes landed on a clear-eyed boy. As he quickly noted the boy was a Hyuga, and yet he was here. Either he was completely useless, or he was trying to play ignorance. As Naruto shrugged it off, as Sasuke noticed Naruto placed hand on his shoulder. If they can't pass the simple genjutsu, they're a lost cause, said Naruto, as he started to walk. As Sakura and Sasuke followed behind him, as Sasuke decided to stay quiet. Perhaps Naruto was right on this one. It wasn't much that him and Naruto agreed to, but perhaps he was right. With that, they made their way. As Neji kept a keen eye on Naruto as he watched him pass, as Naruto was looking at him as well. As Neji kept on frowning as he saw Naruto wasn't taking his gaze off him, as Naruto looked rather amused. As the group passed by, "Lee," said Neji. As Lee turned towards him, "Tenten," he called. When Naruto and his team finally arrived, they saw Kakashi leaned up against the wall. "Kakashi-sensei," said Sakura. "What are you doing here?" said Sasuke. "Just here to wish my cute Jennings good luck." "Before you go in though, Naruto, did you did something to Asuma?" What do you mean?" "Well, I was speaking to him earlier on, and he seemed to be really angry at your name." "Really?" said Naruto. "What did you do?" said Sakura. "Why do you just suspect I did something bad?" "Because you're you," she said. "And you're an ass," said Sasuke. "Well, guess you're right on that," said Naruto. "Kinda knocked him out and shaved his beard," said Naruto. Kakashi blinked, as he remembered seeing Asuma with a face mask like his. He was wondering why Asuma was wearing it, but he decided not to comment, thinking that something happened, or the man was just trying to a new style. As Kakashi started to laugh, he knew he shouldn't, but he had to. "Why?" he said. "Well, me and Kurenai." Sakura blinked. "Wait, you mean Kurenai-sensei?" "Yeah," said Naruto. Sakura looked towards Naruto with a disbelieving gaze. "Don't tell me that you and Kurenai..." "Oh no," said Naruto. "We didn't do anything like that." Not yet though." Sakura scoffed at that. "She's an elite jonin. I doubt she would ever, considering acting like the other girls around you do." Kakashi couldn't believe what he was hearing. As what was going on with Naruto and Kurenai, he heard that the both of them were studying the art of genjutsu. Kakashi figured that Naruto just asked her for some help. He didn't know that it was going so far. That's the point that him and Asuma had to literally fight. But Naruto knocked him out. Judging from how strong Naruto was, Kakashi didn't doubt that. But Asuma was too, well, ashamed to say anything about it. After all, despite everything, Naruto was still a genin. Even he was still a bit ashamed that Naruto defeated him easily and embarrassed him all over the village. But they made a good deal, so he didn't have to do that much work as Team 7 Sensei, and the team was coming along quite fine. "Well, I guess we have to go inside," said Naruto. "Go ahead and make fun of Asuma, he deserves it," said Naruto. As Naruto waved with the back of his hand as the group stepped inside the room. The moment they stepped inside, they were assaulted with killing intent. As Sakura actually stood firm. She was starting to fidget a bit, but Naruto had made sure that killing intent wasn't a problem for her. Well, this level, it wasn't so bad, because his killing intent was different. It took her weeks to move when he was releasing pressure on her, even though it was just a fraction of what he really possessed. As Sasuke's eyes bore on each of them in the group, thinking about which one of them was strong enough to test his powers on, his arrogance getting the better of him. He has gotten a lot stronger and he doubt anyone here could stand a chance against him, even that Gaara guy. He might be powerful this time, but Sasuke was sure that he could put him down if it comes to it. As his arrogance was showing as he smirked. "Hello ladies," said Naruto, catching everyone's attention. "If you don't already know, the name is Naruto. I welcome you all to the Hidden Leaf. And I asked to be your personal guide to show you around the village if you're new, to show you the wonderful sights, and teach you about the culture of the Hidden Leaf village. So just hit me up," he said, as he gave them a charming smile, ignoring all of the guys. "You just had to draw the attention to yourself, didn't you?" said Sakura, seeing everyone else now focus on him. "Well, a star needs a spotlight," said Naruto. And what makes you think that you're a star, said Sasuke. Who knows? Maybe I'm just that cocky, said Naruto. As Naruto then sniffed, as he smelled something, as he turned attention towards the Konoha group, well, one person in particular. As Naruto walked forward, where are you going? You two stay here, said Naruto, as he made his way towards. You've been avoiding me, said Naruto. Ah, so you found me, Naruto-kun. The voice came out calm. You're really calm considering the circumstances, said Naruto. Why should I be worried? I mean, you are on our side. And who tell you that, said Naruto. After all, you know I never liked you. And if I was to spill the secrets about who you really work for, I doubt you could leave without being captured and interrogated, then killed. But you wouldn't do that now, would you, Naruto-kun? I mean, it's not like you'd risk her life by doing something stupid. As Naruto paused, what did you just say? Meanwhile, outside the door, Kakashi had stayed there to hear Naruto's proclamation when he went inside, knowing that he would make a scene. As Kakashi was walking away, seeing the other teams coming, someone broke right through the wall. As the person crashed on the ground, Kabuto winced as he slowly picked himself up. He guessed he pushed it a bit too far. As Naruto stepped out of the hole, his eyes locked on Kabuto as his blade appeared in his hand. The look on his face was blank. There was no smile, no laughter, just death. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so I posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.